Hi there, greetings everybody. Good evening and welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph and I am the host of this show. So we're here to do an episode of favorites, and I've picked a 25. I'm making a top 25 list, my top 25 favorite American bands. This is probably well overdue. I did the Canadian one and the British one, I think it was probably a year or two, a little more than a year ago. And I haven't done a top 25 since my favorite 25 albums of last year. So, yeah, we're getting into the third month of the year, so it's time to do this. So I'm doing my top 25 favorite American bands. And I've disqualified any bands that are kind of considered British American or American Canadian British or any of that kind of combination. These are all pure American bands. And there may be a member or two in one of these bands that isn't American, but for the most part, this is an American video. So we're going to do this pretty much the way I always do these things, which is from my least favorite to my most favorite. In this case, it'll be from number 25 to number 1. I had to do a little bit of thinking about a couple of them towards the bottom there because I wasn't quite sure. Some of them are on this list for nostalgic reasons. I liked them a lot when I was younger. Don't listen to them as much now, but they still have a spot in my list. And then, of course, we've got some up-and-coming ones that I've been getting into over the last couple of years. Maybe not quite as high up as you would think they would be, but they're in the spot I think best suited. So I did make a couple of adjustments to my list while I was looking at it and decided that, this band is just really coming on. I think they got to be higher than this. So anyways, so I've got my 25. I'll also give you 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 4. Bands that didn't quite make the list for whatever reason. So the number 25 on the list is going to be Pat Benatar. So upside down, sorry. Pat Benatar, this is a greatest hits. I do like her stuff quite a bit, but she's more of a nostalgic one for me. She would have been higher if that wasn't the case, but I haven't listened to her as much as I used to, but I still sing her stuff a lot. I still like this album. I'd like to get her whole discography, but it's not a high priority for me. So at this point in time, she's going to come here at number 25, Pat Benatar. Number 24 is a band that only recently in the last two or 3 years has really come on for me. They were a band I actually hated, so that's why they're not as high on this list because it took a while to get them back up to a normal level, and now they're soaring, and this is The Doors. This is a band I expect if you would do this in another 2 years or more, they're probably going to be in the top 10. But for today, they're going to be number 24, The Doors. Next up, this is a band, another nostalgic band for me, but a band that's actually made a bit of a rebound for me in recent years. I love their vocals. They have a lot of really catchy tunes. They're a new wave band, kind of a different sound. Very few bands sound like this. We're going to go with the Cars in the number 23 spot. Okay, next up, number 21. I wasn't sure if I was going to include him or him and his partner. I decided I like his stuff just a little bit more than I like the duet of them. Also, the duet of them, I didn't own very many of their albums. I'm, of course, talking about Paul Simon's. So Simon and Garfunkel, I did not own a lot of their stuff early on, so it's more of a recent phenomenon, even though I did have a greatest hits that I like quite a bit. But Paul Simon is the big one for me here, so he's going to come in at number 21. Is that where we are? No, that's number 22. Number 21 is going to be this guy, Alice Cooper. Got quite a few of his albums now. He's really come on for me. I liked him a little bit in the 80s during the Flush for Fashion era, but I really paid much attention to him after that. But he's made a huge comeback over the last 2 or 3 years since I started collecting his albums. So he's gone from like 150 range of my favorite bands all the way up to now. He's now number 21 on the American bands, and I suspect by the time this is all said and done, he's going to finish in the top 10 as well. Number 20 is a band I liked a lot when I was younger. I still kind of like them a lot. They're, to me, a kind of a harmony band, and I always followed harmony bands. I still kind of follow them a bit, and we're talking about the Beach Boys. Fantastic band, lots of great harmony songs and catchy riffs. Next up, band that's somewhat similar to the Beach Boys, but has their own distinct sounds, much higher range. We're talking about the Four Seasons. This is a band that I've been listening to for literally a very long time. My parents were into these guys when I was younger. I kind of got away from it when I got into Kiss. I didn't really think of it as a rock band until I started really pursuing rock music. And then, of course they are. So Four Seasons here at number 19. Number 18, a guy I was hugely into in the mid-'80s. It probably went from about 84 through maybe about 88, 89 that I was really into him. And then I kind of got out of him. And I've kind of been in and out of him for a bit lately. And we're talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan, SRV. So he's going to be number 18. 18, am I right? Yep, 18. Number 17. This is a band that was new to me when I started the channel. Yeah, I had heard a couple of their songs on the radio. They did initially very well with me when I started listening to them. I had a couple of albums I really liked. Kind of slacked off a bit because they tend to be a little bit more jazzy than or jazz fusiony than I tend to like. But I have most of their stuff now. We're talking about Steely Dan here. That's number 17. Number 16 is The Knack. Based on this one album is why they're here. This album is absolutely great. Their second album is pretty good too. I haven't owned it for a long time, but this one is a monster album for me. So they're on the strength of this, really on the strength of this one album. So this is The Knack, number 16. Number 15 is a band that I liked a lot when I was younger. Kind of made a little bit of a comeback, kind of slumping a bit again, but they still have a lot of really good stuff. And this is the Doobie Brothers, so they're going to be number 15. Number 14 is a band we'll be doing a video on tomorrow for my They Got It All Started. I'm going to post this, the Everly Brothers, probably my favorite vocal duo of all time. I love them quite a bit, really strong, a lot of really good stuff. Yes, their music is 50-ish sounding, and, of course, it's going to be very vocally oriented, which a lot of people don't care for as much, but these guys are fantastic. Everly Brothers at number 14. Now, it's a bit of a jump up here now as we get to some of the more serious American bands for me. This one, Boston, this is based on the strength of their first two albums, really. But they were very strong albums for me. The debut album is a masterpiece. This one is like a high 1, low 2, high 2, low 1. Sorry, I got it backwards there. Are really strong, both the first two. The third one's pretty good too. Starts to tater off after that, but still some of the most iconic guitar stuff going on. So Boston here at number 13. Number 12, another guy during that Stevie Ray Vaughan era that I kind of listened to quite a bit. Probably maybe almost as long, maybe a little longer. Still like him a lot, still listen to him on occasion. But he's not as strong as he once was for me, but still very good. We're talking about the Jimi Hendrix Experience here. So that's number 12, I believe. Yep. Number 11, a band that's recently really started to make a comeback with me after being very strong for me during that dead period of my music in the 90s when I wasn't listening to much. Kind of was listening to this band and Jethro Tull the most. Leonard Skinner, they've made a huge comeback over the last year or so for me too, starting to really get into them. So that's my number 11. Number 10, They have their moments with me. They were strong and then not so strong and then strong again, not so strong. Made a bit of a comeback at the beginning of my time doing this channel. I've slacked off a bit and made comebacks again. They're always up and down, but I still like them. Aerosmith, top 10, cracking the top 10 now. Number 9, very strong early on. Hasn't been as strong lately, although I love the guy's voice. He's my favorite vocalist. I'm going to go with Ronnie James Dio here in the number 9 spot, or Dio, I guess is the band, right? Number 8, this is a band that very strong for me early on in my rock music history, like in the early to late 70s and 80s. I was listening to this one particular album all the time. And in recent months, I've really started to make a huge comeback for me. Steve Miller Band, number 8. Next up is number 7. This is a band very strong with me early on in the 80s. Listen to them all the time. Not so much now, but I do like to go back occasionally and listen to some of their stuff. And that's the Eagles. The Eagles here at number 7. Number 6. Again, same kind of situation as the Eagles. Very strong in the early 80s. Haven't been as strong in recent years, although there's a couple of albums I still like to pull off the shelf once in a while and listen to. And that Cheap Trick, this is one of those 2 albums. I like these guys a lot, and so they're going to come number 6. So now we're down to the top 5. These are very strong bands for me. A couple of them are faded a bit from just overplay over the years, but all of them very strong, dating back almost to the beginning of my rock music. So the first one is Heart. Their first 4 or 5 albums, love them all. That Greatest Hits live album they have is one of my favorites. It's an absolute masterpiece, as well as their first couple of Heart albums, really great. And this one is good too. I like this. Very strong early on. They've done really not much for me, probably since early 80. And so they're going basically on their nostalgia, but it's a fantastic nostalgia. So they get the number 5 spot. Number 4, just a hair above them. Kind of the same scenario. I don't really like their later stuff at all, but their early stuff with David Lee Roth, I love. Their first 6 albums are great. I love them all. This one was a beautiful start to a great career, but they have some others that I love almost as much or even more. So Van Halen, don't listen to them as much as I used to. Probably mostly because I've overplayed them over time, but still very strong, top 4. Number 3, this was my favorite band for the first 3.5 years kind of guess around the first 3.5 years where I was now indulging in modern rock, I called it. And they started to fade after they made a particular album in 79. And they pretty much been on a slide downhill for most of the rest of that time period. But they were so strong at the beginning and so dominant that it's taking a long time for them to slide off the map. And we're talking about number 3 is Kiss. And then the top 2, I think, are easily the top 2. And both these bands are doing well. They did well. This particular, we'll do a number 2 first. So number 2 was a band that I loved. The first album I got from them, and for whatever reason, I never pursued them again until I started the channel. Now I'm listening to them all the time. They're one of the most listened to bands for me on this channel. And I'm talking about Blue Oyster Cult. Now they do have some albums I absolutely adore. Other albums, not so much, but still really good stuff. And the number 1 band, it's not going to surprise anybody who this is going to be. Easily number 1 here. Stronger than most of the rest of them by far. And we're talking about Styx. Styx has 3 albums for me that are masterpieces, absolutely top of the shelf. None of these other bands are close to that. And then they have a bunch of stuff that's pretty good as well. And so they're my number 1. It's not a surprise, I think, to anybody that they're my number 1 American band. They're my number 4 band overall. But where America is concerned, they're number 1. Okay, I'm going to give them to you back top to bottom again. Number 1, Styx. Number 2, Blue Oyster Cult, or BOC if you prefer. Number 3 is Kiss. Number 4, Van Halen. Number 5, Heart. Number 6, Cheap Trick. Number 7, The Eagles. Number 8, Steve Miller. Number 9, Ronnie James Dio. Number 10, Aerosmith. So that's the top 10. Number 11, Leonard Skinner. Number 12, Jimi Hendrix. Number 13, Boston. Number 14, the Everly Brothers. Number 15, the Doobie Brothers. Getting lots of brothers here. Number 16, the Knack. Number 17, Steely Dan. Number 18, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Number 19, the Four Seasons. And number 20, the Beach Boys. And then we got the last 5 here. Number 21, Alice Cooper, soon to be in the top 10 spot from any indication of the albums that I have. Paul Simon, number 21. The Cars, number 22. Number 21. Number 22, Paul Simon. Number 23, The Cars. Number 24, The Doors. And last but not least, Pat Benatar. So those are my top 25 favorite American bands. I like all of them. There's no bad ones here. Just because they're in 25th spot doesn't mean they're bad. And I put some honorable mentions. Bands like Kansas and White Wing and Winter Hawk and the J. Giles. I think White Wing and Winter Hawk probably be higher if they had more albums and I could actually get those albums. They would definitely be higher. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Favorites, which is my 25 favorite American bands. And if you want to, you can like and subscribe. You want to do your own 25 favorite American bands, you can. If you want to discuss my ranking of these, you can do that as well. Just remember that just my personal preferences. I'm not suggesting that Styx is the greatest American band ever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's my preference. So you can make your own preference, or you just make your own list if you want to do that as well. That's all well and good. I'm always curious to see what people put and how they put them. And we'll see you all next week for another episode of Favorites. I think I may stick with the 25 list. I have a couple of others that I want to do, and I may do a second one next week, and we will see you all then. So take care, have yourself a good evening, and good night here from the Prog Monster.